Welcome to hello everyone. Welcome to Team Fortress TV's coverage of ETF2L Season 27. We are covering the Week 3 official between BazookaSports and Lego. We have Gemm here on production, and we have my co-commentator, caster man, the big nuze. Say hi.
Hello, Hiipfire. How are you doing?
I'm excited. We were talking in the pregame, and I was exposing a little bit of my my bias towards BazookaSports in this official, because I talked to, I don't know, to Smear, and he's a cool guy. I'd like to see him win, but
Cool
what do
guy
you
indeed.
think?
Well, last week I watched Lego's game versus Nerdrage. And Lego quite surprised me, so I'm excited to see what they can do this season and if they can keep up their somewhat dominant looking performances over the mid-prem teams. And I know a few of the guys on BazookaSports, especially Tom. I've talked to him a lot, so I'm not really maybe as biased as you are, but I'd be eager to see how this plays out, because I think this should be a good game, at least on paper. Anyway, do you want to take us to the first mid? Yeah,
So the match has started. A very quick intro. This is going to be first map. It's Reckoner. Let's see what's going on right now. BazookaSports is going to go on the side of Lego's. Lego side's a mid here. Soldier does bomb in. That's Josh trying to get onto Smear. Smear will go down, but he will get shitted out by Puskari. Lego's getting kind of collapsed upon. Am's got a kill. Scrab gets a kill. Tom coming in into Cargo will clean up Domo and Yippee. Yippee will get the Boston Basher kill onto Ampus there. And actually, Potato will get behind the lines and get Serotonin. So BazookaSports does win the mid, but they do lose their medic.
Yeah, they were a lot tighter on that mid, BazookaSports. I think Lego were a bit more split up. Demul wanted to go for a flank, and Potato ended up behind after the main duration of the fight. So after the first picks on the mid, we saw the BazookaSports combo just getting clean up frags and then eventually winning the mid. Not much of an advantage for either medic. We do see some trade frags as the second point gets capped and recapped by Lego. But right now, a small advantage for Dr. Phil, but they're not going to be pushing into mid with it. I think now would be a great time for Demul to go sniper, because it looks like this will be the first stalemate of this week 3 match. And Demul, for the few minutes he was playing sniper last week, he was hitting insane shots. It looks like he's checking the BazookaSports potential off classes while he's on Spy, and he's actually coming out of the spawn as Spy. I think maybe BazookaSports would also be like me and expect a sniper, so maybe he's given them the mind games, you know?
I don't know, maybe. I mean, he's on the big gunner. He could get a potential chain stab going. He is here behind the scout. I got scared there. He just shot the ground. I thought Demul was going to get caught there, but he seemed to be setting up a little spy play, just trying to make his way through, but I guess he's going back. Maybe not feeling too comfortably. I think he's revealed his cards there, though. He got shot in lower there by the scout, so that spy play is pretty much over. Now that they know he's there, but yeah, it's currently still a stalemate. There is a little bit of peeking going on by BazookaSports in Cargo, though. I do see a jump coming in. That will be Ams trying to get onto Dr. Phil. He will get one rocket, but then he will go down to Potato and Yippie's focus fire. So that sack not really working out. I'm a little interested, though, because I see Josh is playing with the banner, the battalion's backup there, so he can get that 330 buff.
Yeah, they were running that quite a bit last week, and it worked, I'd say, really well. Just then we saw, after Demul getting caught on Spy and going back, it took BazookaSports quite a long time to get their counter-sack in, so Demul had already respawned, and then he goes for the same thing, and he gets denied, so not really many successful plays, but we do see Tom coming in with a nice pogo, but not really getting onto Dr. Phil. Puskari getting a frag onto Josh, so that banner will be going down, and he does get cleaned up for it. So now we've got a bit of a situation that opens up something for Lego, and it looks like they're trying to do something with it.
We're moving out of lower here, but there's actually a big stick trap there, like 4 stickies on the ground for Smear trying to catch Yippee, trying to get out there. He will actually successfully make it out, though. They just got completely spammed out, and Lego trying to capitalize on that advantage unsuccessfully, are now stuck back on their second again.
And we still see not really many significant playmaking attempts. Like, they're just sticking to the standard bomb a soldier in and hope for the best. It doesn't look like there's too much of coordinated plays or two-man sacks. Like, we saw Puskari and Tom going in the last sack attempt, but they were kind of split up and it wasn't really coordinated. So I think Lego are just going to play to the banner that Josh has. It looks like the battalion's backup. And I think they're quite content to just play these stalemates for spam and build up that charge. As we do see Amps peeking quite deep, and Tom as well on the right side. They've got a lot of information right now, but still no off classes to work with it. I'd be curious to see what their approach is, because if they just wait this time out, then Lego are just going to get a banner. It's not going to be favourable for BazookaSports.
Yep, Lego is trying out a new off class. Instead of the demo spy, they're trying the potato sniper. He's peeking in front of that forward spawn. He does get a shot off, but no headshots just yet. No kills for him. But they do know he's there. There's Ams jumping in, trying to get onto the medic. He will once again get denied. Nothing he can really do. Smear will actually go down to Domo, though. So that's 2 players down for BazookaSports. 2 high-impact players down. So they're going to have to hold very passively on this midpoint. Lego has the opportunity to push in. They will move in through that cargo and lower area. There they are. Potato will peek very aggressively. We'll get a headshot onto Tom. Tom will get finished off with a body shot. Serotonin will actually go down. He will drop his Uber. And Scrab will go down as well. So that's a very successful push from Lego there.
Yeah, that was really cleanly done, using the player advantage perfectly well, and they don't even need to stack the capture point now because the spawn waves are so delayed. So they're walking into second here without much concern for being forced. So they should be able to use this Uber by the time they get into last. Puskari was behind trying to get a flank, but loses a 1v1 to Yippee. And with Potato on Sniper, that would be the only concern with this last push if they don't have enough follow-up damage, but they are going in with it now.
Oh, Potato gets the first frag onto Smear, peeking that spawn door. He will also take down that sentry. There's a heavy on the ground. That's Tom trying to do what he can, but he will get focused down. And Lego's just going to be playing the point. That'll be the first point going to Lego.
I have to say, I'm a bit worried that they're relying on Amps for their sack plays, because he's been playing Scout for a long time now for this team, and it's only because of the recent roster changes that he's been moved to Soldier. So I feel like they might need to change their approach, but yeah, why don't you take us into this mid again, Hiipfire?
Yeah, let's see. This is the second mid. I see Lego going up on their side of mid, and BazookaSports doing the same thing they did last mid, going onto the Lego side of mid. Doma will go down very early. Josh trying to get onto the combo will go down to Serotonin. Tom does fall on the side of BazookaSports. Adams will jump all the way to the other side of mid, gets the mole, gets some rockets onto Potato as well. He will get cleaned up by Puskari, so that's a very, very clean mid from BazookaSports.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, they won the last mid as well. And I'd imagine that's because in team fights where there's no Uber and they're forced to commit here on these mids, the advantage that they have in terms of their DM is just going to come into play so much, because none of the players on Lego are they stand out for being like really mechanically talented. Their soldiers are quite an asset, but a lot of the players on BazookaSports are like the kind of people you'd expect to make big plays. So I feel like the messier that they can make this, the more it would favour them. And right now we see Amps peeking in, gets the pick with the follow-up from Puskari, and he does end up trading for it. So 1 pick each. I think they're gonna... I would have expected an off-pass, but it looks like they're trying to push here.
Yeah, they're trying to push in as far as they can. Amps spots that sentry very early, but it's a level 3 sentry. He will jump in and get completely destroyed by that sentry. He still tries to get rockets onto Dr. Phil and actually gets 2 rockets off on him. So Dr. Phil is going to get forced in a really bad position on last, and BazookaSports is already outside on second. It's a perfect situation for them to push into last, but it seems like Lego's maybe trying to get a little bit of an aggressive hold, maybe force the BazookaSports Uber as fast as possible, but we'll see.
Just after waiting, I think they're waiting for their spawners, and they should be gearing to push now. But I think Lego are relying on their banner with Josh. So as long as Josh can put out some damage and not die, I think they might have a saving grace here on this last hold. Getting good frags as well, Josh. So as long as he doesn't die, but he does go down just as he pops the Hiipfire.
Yeah, now it's BazookaSports' chance to push in, but their Uber has already faded. They've only gotten the kill on Josh. They do get the all-important dispenser pick, but Smear will go down, Ams will go down. Now it's just Serotonin, Tom, and Scrab, so they're going to have to get out. Unsuccessful Uber advantage push for BazookaSports. Tom actually trying to go in for a sack, but also unsuccessful.
They gave Josh so much respect when they were walking in top left. I think they had 4 or 5 players there, all with heals, and Josh was by himself, but he managed to get one pick and force the Uber so early. But off the back of that play and the Uber that they held on second, Lego are looking to come into mid now.
Yep, I see Domo walking straight over the top bridge there, and both soldiers for Lego jumping over as well. A lot of aggression on Lego's side. Ams will go down. The Uber is almost up for BazookaSports, but Lego is moving into this cargo area into second. They see a soldier, that is Tom. The Uber will get popped by Dr. Phil, so they're going to try and get this second point off of it, or at least try to force this Uber. The Uber will get forced. Serotonin pops his. Dr. Phil will get stuck in. He's in lower. He's just kind of sitting here trying to somehow dodge these sticks. He actually stays alive for a really long time, but eventually he will go down. Josh will go down. Puskari walks in, gets Potato. He's in a 1v1 with Yippee. He's going to try and win that too. He has not killed him yet. The Mole actually gets to jump onto Serotonin while all of this is happening though. So Serotonin will go down. The Mole goes down. And BazookaSports will eventually be capping up this midpoint.
And this is exactly what I mean. Lego were trying to push on player advantage when they didn't have any concrete advantages to push off, like the banner, and Uber, as Dr. Phil just gets flanked by Amps. Lego weren't really prepared, and I don't think they would have expected Amps to push up that far, but we see in a lot of these messy fights where there's not any clear advantages to play off, any charges to work with, and it seems like the DM just wins it for BazookaSports. Just now, Josh and Phil are down, so there's not really much of a combo to contest second here. The best that they can hope for is good spam, but it's not going to amount to anything, so Lego are just going to be setting up on last while Serotonin has a 50% Uber advantage. And I think BazookaSports are looking to be getting in here as soon as they can. They're just building the Uber now, and I think as soon as they get it, they'll be buffing their players up. But there's the sentry on just in front of the point on the right side, and it looks like they're playing without any banners this time. Oh no, they have the battalions on Josh, but I don't think they'll get it. They're Ubering in just now into the top left. They get clear damage onto the sentry. It does go down, and we're just playing the high ground on top left. Not too many frags going in, but Phil does get his counter Uber in time because they were arrow building, and now Demu's pushing into lobby. They get the frag onto Tom, and they're going to be cleaning house here. Hiipfire.
Yeah, maybe not really doing too much on that top left area. They got the sentry, and that's all they got with that Uber. Yippee goes down here, actually. Am is trying to go for the kill onto Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil is actually very weak. The rest of BazookaSports trying to get some damage on him, trying to contest this second point. They're trying to do it. They're getting actually pretty decent damage. Josh will go down. Everyone just kind of lumped up in a group there on the point, all taking the same damage. So players will go down. BazookaSports has an opportunity to get in. Smear with a very aggressive jump, try to get onto Dr. Phil. Tried to do a little bit of an alley impression there, jump in for the sack, but he will not really get anything onto Dr. Phil. But BazookaSports is back on second.
It seemed like a really unnecessary time to go for that sack, unless he wants to go for like a weapon switch, maybe quickie bombs or lock and load or something like that. And it does look like he's just stuck to the same stock loadout. So I don't know why Smear went for that play, because maybe he thought he could catch off Phil, but I'm not really too in favor of going for demo sacks into last, especially when there's a lot of time to play with. But it looks like BazookaSports are trying to come into lobby right now.
Yeah, they're making it through the stickies of Domo. Domo actually will go down to Ams, who will just be jumping straight in onto him. Josh will go down to Puskari, so that's 2 picks for BazookaSports. The rest of Lego sitting on the right side. They do have that sentry up. A scout trying to walk in on the left side. That's Puskari. He will go down to Demul. Smear will spam down that sentry. So at this point, BazookaSports has some picks, but the spawners are coming in for Lego. I think they're just going to be going back outside.
Smear might get caught off in lobby here, yeah, and he does. Just a bit out of position as his team was already outside of lobby. Phil went down to 17 HP on that last point, but didn't get quite enough damage to be forced because he was by the close to the spawn. And it looks like Lego off this Smear pick are trying to push out here, but they've got the spawners coming in soon.
Yep, see, there's a sack coming in. That is the mole going through lower. He will get denied by Scrab and finish off as well. A counter sack coming in from Ams, trying to get onto Dr. Phil. Some creative jumping there, but he will go down, not even getting a single rocket onto Dr. Phil. So both soldiers have sacked, and neither team has really gained anything from it.
I don't think we've seen a single successful soldier bomb, because we've just seen Demille going in and Amps going in, sometimes Tom, and none of them have been able to make it work. The one time that they forced Dr. Phil was when Tom and Amps were both spamming, or Amps had jumped in and Tom was spamming to back him up, and they only forced because Tom hit good spam rockets. So these soldier bombs, and it looks like they're trying another one, but Amps just, it's not going to work, and I don't want to see Demille come in again and fail, because back-to-back soldier bombs where they're not amounting to anything, it's like banging your head against a wall. I don't see the point in doing it when it's just not working, Hiipfire.
Well, there we have it. Potato's going to go on the off-class sniper. He will get Boskari, who's just sitting on the ground. There's the mole jumping in. He's going to try to go for the sack with the scout down, but he will go down. Tom will aggress onto Potato in that lower area. So that's 2 picks for BazookaSports. They also have the superior spawns there. Boskari is up, so they're now 6 up. Am is jumping in through lobby into main, trying to get some really damage going, but there's actually a lot of damage on the combo of Lego. Domo will get, I guess, dropped by Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil will take a pipe. He will have to pop his Uber, but Scrab and Ams are both down. BazookaSports trying to get out. Smear is I get caught. He's very aggressive still there in lobby, but he just very barely makes it out. Gets an arrow from Seroton at like 9 HP. We'll make it out, and well, they got the force, so they should be able to push in just a moment.
It looks like they are going to switch to pretty standard off-classing a sentry on the right side. Nothing else for the moment, and Bazooka are going to be quick to push on this one, Hiipfire.
Yep, they're coming in. The Uber has been popped. They're going on the left side. Potato will go down. The sentry is also down. The rest of Lego's on the right side. They do have that defensive off-class, the Heavy. Tom will jump in on him. Heavy's relatively weak. Josh and Domo are both really weak. The mole is down to a rocket of Ams. Josh and Domo finally get cleaned up. It's now just Yippee and Dr. Phil. They're going to be unable to hold the push off, and it'll be tied up 1-1.
Yeah, and it looked like that was the first really clean push that Bazooka have had this game. It was good because they went early enough that Lego didn't have enough time to set up their off-classes fully. I think the sentry gun was only level 1 by the time they had Ubered in, and it really didn't amount to much, and that's why they were able to get such a clean entry with that push. Going into this mid, though, we see Lego playing quite passively on the left side, and Bazooka are going to meet them on the right side. Tom initiating with Soldier Bomb and gets the frag onto Tom, doesn't die for it, so it's a good start for Bazooka. The scouts are being quite tentative, but they should be moving forward as Lego are already backing out. They don't want to contest this without Josh, and they knew Tom was behind, so it's just not safe ground for them. Josh will be respawning soon, and I'd be curious to see if they have the banner again, because it looks like we're just going to be in a stalemate. Phil wasn't actually building too well, so he was 20% down, but I don't think Bazooka were aware of that, and I think they're probably going to send another soldier bomb in.
And they're making the space for Ams right now, but actually Tom coming out of nowhere there, trying, I guess the combo was trying to distract there. Tom, unfortunately, will not really get much going there, even though that distraction was quite successful, so Tom's down. I'm expecting a Lego counter sack soon, but the mole's not in position, and Josh isn't really in position either. So, oh, we do have the mole. He's checking off classes, or is he?
He's moved out.
Ooh,
he's going for it.
Another attempt. Maybe this time he's gonna go through grass again, or through lower rather. So I'm curious if he's gonna get anything done, but he's gonna get hit by sticks, and for now, this spy play is unsuccessful. He's walking his way back to spawn, so I think he's conceding it. His spy is just not having a good time right now. He's switching, to sniper. This is what you wanted to see, Nuze.
It is indeed, but Amps is coming in for a distraction bomb as Tom flies in towards Dr. Phil, gets one good rocket, but it's not enough to force. Maybe they can get it with spam, but it doesn't look like it. I like what Bazooka are doing. It's the same that they did last time when they found Demul on Spy. As soon as they know that they have a Spy, they set up to go for a sack because there's essentially one less fragging glass. And because they know the Spy's there, it's very unlikely that he'd be able to do anything while they're holding. Demul's actually walking up right side into Toxic. I don't think he's got much of a sight line. He sees Ams and he gets the headshot. So that's the entry pick that they're going to be looking to push with, Hiipfire.
Yeah, Demul's still going to go for another pick, maybe. He's trying to peeking aggressively. He's baiting in a little bit for Josh here, it seems. He hasn't gotten another shot just yet. Ams is still down, so they should be able to push. BazookaSports is actually still holding by the lower of Lego. So, if anything, they should be able to push through this toxic area, but I don't know. They seemed a little bit spread out. I don't think they are comfortable pushing on this one pick. They're just moving Demul around right now, and he is again in this toxic area. He sees a soldier, he sees a scout. He can't shoot through that little tower there, so he's getting taunted by, I think that's Puskari there, but he's gonna peek in through toxic. That scout is peeking him though. He can't really peek aggressively while that scout's just sitting there. But we do have Ams on Spy. Maybe he'll have some more success off-classing here. He is behind. He opens the shutter. He walks through. But he's been spotted. He will go down, and actually Demul will go down to Smear. So both off-classes are now down. Don't think anyone's going to be pushing off of it, but that was an unsuccessful Spy play there.
Both playmaking players going down there, but I do like what Lego are trying to do with it. It's not just the sniper play. They play Josh really close to him so that if anyone tries to be aggressive to deny the sniper, Josh can get good spam, and I think he's probably built his battalion's back up by now. The other thing that makes that work really well is as soon as they get one pick from Demul, they don't have to rely on just sending a soldier as a counter sack, because they can go for an aggressive push with the banner, force their bazookas Uber, and then recommit with Uber, or they can do it the other way around. They can take an Uber in to get an exchange and use their banner in the end of the fight, rather than just sending a soldier in for a sack. So I like the fact that they're playing with, or attempting to play with multiple advantages here, and using the pick class as sort of the catalyst that enables them to get that push going. But at the moment, there's not too much happening in the way of picks. Grab getting body shot to actually 1 HP. Lucky for him, he had just enough of a buff.
And the Mole still on Sniper. Ams did check in spawn as Spy to see if they had this off class, so he does know, or they did have the foreknowledge that Demul was going Spy or Sniper. A soldier does go in for a sack. I don't know who that was, but it was unsuccessful, not even really getting in. There's actually another sack coming in. That is Ams. He will get some rockets onto Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil is actually on 30 HP. He will get the pack in lobby. There's Demul peeking aggressively onto Puskari. The second very weak scout via a sniper shot, but just no kills for Demul right now. This is slightly unlucky, I'd say. Sitting in lower. The medic is around that corner. He could get that shot if only that concrete barrier wasn't there.
Playing with fire. Serton's really close to the sight line, but I think Demul has rotated now to the left side. But again, the positions that Bazooka are going to be playing just doesn't allow Demul for a shot, because Puskari's behind the pillar, and they have the soldier on the high ground, so there's not much he can do from this angle. And I do feel like we're going to be in this stalemate for a while unless someone can make something happen. In the last sack that we see happening again, actually, Tom and Amps both committing, both going really weak, and Scrap dies to a sticky trap. So 2 picks for Lego, and this is perfect for what they want. They've got the banner and they've got the Uber, and they're going to try and do something with it.
Yeah, the 2 picks moving in. They're on mid. BazookaSports combo is here by the lower of Lego. They do get forced. They're trying to get some frags with it. Force the Uber. The Uber gets forced by Ams. Smear and Seraton are going to have to get out. They should be able to. There is a scout who saw them get out through cargo. They're actually getting some spawners here, so they're actually going to try and contest this again. Puskari will go down very early. Scrap gets Yippee. There's some shots going off from Demul. Potatoes on 6 HP. And BazookaSports only has 3 players, so they're going to have to go back to second. That contest did not work out.
They had the right idea. I think recommitting and keeping it in these messy fights does favour them, but Potato hit some good shots, Demul did, and he continues to as he gets another headshot onto Amps, which should be a decent pick to try and leverage some sort of bigger advantage. We see Josh peeking the top left for the spam, and Demul's got the sightline into... He's walking right side actually, sees a shot onto Smear. It's not quite enough to get the pick, and Lego are trying to be quite aggressive here, and I'm not sure if it'll work, Hiipfire.
Yeah, well, they do get the kill onto Tom. Puskari on Sniper, trying to get some pot shots onto Dr. Phil. He sees him, he's trying to dodge, but he will go down. So the drop from Dr. Phil, Yippee playing the point will go down. BazookaSports with this Uber trying to just clean up shop. The rest of Lego is getting out. Josh actually unsuccessfully will go down. Now it's Domo and Demul and Potato. Potato will get taken out by Scrab in lobby. Now it's Demul sitting in this toxic area. He's trying to see if Serotonin will peek him, but he will get spammed out. And BazookaSports, off of that play, that sniper play, will hold that last point.
Yeah, big clutch shot from Puskari. I think he was actually, I'm not sure about it, but I think he switched to sniper, and I don't think Phil saw him as a result. So, intelligent play, and not too bad a mistake for Phil, because I think he got caught off with a very small time window there. But Lego had a good opening. They had the picks, and they had such a clean entry into the right side of last that they didn't even need to use by the time they were like a few feet from the point. But now we're back to the same sort of stalemate, except this time we see Lego holding mid and Bazooka on second, where I think most of the stalemates so far this match have been the other way around. Amps is actually going Spy, and I think he's going to try and make it work. I don't think we've seen a single successful Spy play in this game, but maybe Amps is the one to do it.
All season, oh, the Mole gets Smear. This is the opening for Lego. Demul getting a second shot here. Ams moving in onto Demul. He will get the trick step on Yippee as well. The 2K from Ams. He's trying to pistol down Domo there. Josh will actually go down to Scrab there. So that's 3 picks for BazookaSports. Even though Demul went massive, Ams went just as massive and lower. 2 picks by both off classes. So, well, that was going to be spectacular. But I think that we're back in this stalemate though. So... that was
such a good time to push. I mean, Smear died, but it was such an early death because he was the first pick, that he was the first spawner to be back in the fight. If they had started moving as Smear had spawned, they would have been able to take a fight on mid with a player advantage. And it's mistakes like that, or not capitalizing on advantages, that I think really hurts a lot of teams in this meta, and especially teams with the strengths of BazookaSports, teams that have such good mechanical players that can DM their way out of anything. And when they're playing in stalemates, they're going to be losing, or they're not going to favorably match up to teams like Lego, who, despite not having as great mechanical skill, are quite a bit more coordinated. That being said, Domo does go down, and it looks like Bazooka are trying to make something happen. Smear peeking, getting some damage onto Josh, but it looks like Lego are pretty content to hold this. Tom gets a clean jump in, gets 1 rocket onto Phil, but it's not really much to work with. And Smear goes to a headshot of Demul, Puskari down to Josh, so this is a good opening for Lego. As Yippee is already in, or Potato gets good damage onto Amps, and they force Demul with the counter. Dr. Phil with the counter pop, and it should be better for Lego here if they can make something happen, but I don't think they have the players to make it work.
Ooh, Am's going very aggressive with the pogos, gets Dr. Phil chasing him down, so that's the med down. He sees Demul. Demul will get air shot. Ams with his aggression just shutting down Lego. It's just, I think, Josh and Domo, but they have already gone out. Potato and Yippee will join them on second, but BazookaSports now has the advantage, and they have the midpoint. They have about 20% advantage. If they built this properly, they should be able to get a good Uber push in before Lego gets their Uber. But actually, they're just going to go straight dry into second. They're going to just... oh, Lego's actually holding very passively, so BazookaSports will basically get the second point for free.
I think they got a good bit of intel to see that Lego weren't in a position to hold second, so they just decided to walk in with it, and fair enough, it paid off. And now, I think off the back of taking some damage getting into second, they were building Uber slightly better than Dr. Phil and Lego were, so they're sitting on a 30% advantage and they're going with it.
Here comes Smear, gets the kill onto Dr. Phil, so that's the all-important medic pick. He is down. The rest of Lego trying to hold this. Serotonin and Smear are down, though. The sentry still hasn't gone spam down. Puskari goes down. That's 3 players down. Ams is dead to Demul. It's Tom and Scrap. Tom is fighting Demul in lobby. Domo will join him. He will go down. It's just Scrab He's meeting up with his combo on mid.
I have to criticize something I saw Smear do that hold. Actually, I'll cut myself off as it looks like BazookaSports are trying to contest the second point here. They know that they can win these fights, and there's only a minute and a half left, so they need to be doing it. They lose the first 2 frags to Josh and Domo, but the damage is being so heavily favored for Lego just now. Just Tom with a nice air shot onto Domo. Bit of a consolation, but it's not going to work out. With a minute left, this is Lego's chance to get the winning round. I think they have enough time to do it. Maybe they can deny some spawners here as well, Hiipfire.
Yeah, this is the opportunity for Lego that they need. Puskari is very aggressive. He's trying to get onto mid with that sniper play, but he will miss the head of Dr. Phil, so no big play for Puskari right now. He's going to be hiding here, actually. He's going to be waiting for the Lego combo to push into second. They will be coming from Cargo. They have 30 seconds, cutting it very short or very close here, Lego. They are going to be getting onto the second point. Puskari has not been spotted. He sees Demo going lower. He will not get that shot. There's 2 players on second. 20 seconds for Lego to push into last. They pop that Uber. Puskari gets the mule eventually, so that's the first pick going to BazookaSports. They're trying to play the point. Lego's on the point. It's a scout and a medic. Scout will go down. The rest of Lego getting on the point now. Players going down for BazookaSports, but players for Lego also going down. But eventually, Scrab will jump off the point accidentally, I think, and Lego will, in the end, cap that off. Very close, but Lego will pull it out and win this first map 2-1.
I have to call out Puskari. I think he almost single-handedly lost that map there because he goes for such an aggressive play on Sniper. Into the mid-fight, which is a low-risk play rather than trying to set up on last, get an off-class and help the team. And he's not having any impact for the whole of the last push because he's on second. He does win a 1v1 with the Mule, but that doesn't play too much into it when he could have been on heavy or just anything that would have brought them more of a defense on last, and it was only 3 seconds in it, so I think that was a pretty big mistake to make, and the new addition to the roster, and he's perhaps not as familiar with what the team wants him to be doing. But that should have been harder for Lego on the last push. It looked like they were pretty much in control of the fight there. And you have to think that with BazookaSports having the talent that they have, team fights that are messy as that should be favoring BazookaSports. But if you're not having Puskari, like not even on scout in the last push, then you're just asking to lose when it's a 50% disadvantage. So I don't know. I feel like that was a throw.
Yeah, well, yeah, he went for the low percent play and it didn't work out. And now they lost the map 2-1. No points for BazookaSports for that map. 0 points for BazookaSports. 3 for Lego. Let's look at these logs though. We got the logs up, I think, and looking at everyone's favorite stat, the damage per minute, Big Godmole with 8k damage, 270 damage per minute, out damaging Smear and Domo. So a roamer doing the top damage. That's pretty good, I'd say.
I cannot see the logs right now. I will try and bring them up on the regular side. Actually, yeah, I can see them now. Gemm made magical things happen. So, looking at damage, yeah, you're saying Demul quite. To be honest, this is quite standard with the exception of Demul, but I think it might be inflated by his sniper play. I think he had 8 headshots. So,
he has 3k damage on sniper. So,
but everything else seems pretty standard. Demo's obviously topping off the damage, which isn't too uncommon in the stalemate meta. Then soldiers and the scouts at the bottom. But what I'd like to see is the KD stat, because I think that probably has a good reflection on who played best in these sort of stalemates. And yeah, we see a lot of the Lego players, both scouts and Domo the Demo, above 4 of the fragging classes for BazookaSports. So again, it's like a team that should be winning team fights. I feel like they're much more favored in those situations, but because it was a lot of holds and pushes and set plays, I think it did favor the more coordinated side of Lego.
Yeah, well, it seems like it. I mean, I do remember Spear getting sniped like 3-4 times by the mole. So losing your demo and those like at the very end of the match where you just get like sniped constantly is obviously it's not very good for your holds. But yeah, well, let's see some other stats. I see a kill stat. I see Scrab with 6 kills on the mole, but I think that's just because of the like first 15 minutes of the game where like it's just a bunch of unsuccessful sacks. I mean, you see Potato on AMS as well, so I wouldn't say that AMS got completely destroyed by Potato, more that AMS just kind of jumped into Potato like for like 10 minutes, so I don't know.
And I think looking at the mid fights, all 3 of the mid fights, to me, unsurprisingly, going to BazookaSports, because again, they're going to be favored in the team fights because there's just more opportunities for their players to take 1v1s or 2v1s, more opportunities for them to put out more damage than they take. And when it's in team fights like that, unless quite a few things go wrong, I think it's going to favor BazookaSports against most teams in Prem, because they have one of the most talented rosters in Prem. But I think we've brought up the relative frags by zone, Hiipfire.
I am seeing a kind of garbled version of it, so I can't see it.
I'm seeing
Could
Lego,
you tell me what you see?
Lego being very strong at defending their last and second, with lots of, well, the frags just speak for themselves. It's Domo, Yippee, and Demul kind of defending to a high degree on their own territory, and again the mid fight's going in favor of BazookaSports. But when it comes to BazookaSports second and last, it is a bit more even, because I think a lot of those times it comes down to the momentum that Lego are pushing with against the sort of messy holds that you'll see on BazookaSports, and it ties it up a bit more. But we are going to Gullywash next, and Gullywash is quite a different map from Reckoner. Reckoner is very open, and Gullywash, there's a lot of it that's sort of determined by how you hold chokes and how you play your spam and that kind of thing, Hiipfire. So what do you think, if anything, will be different on this map?
Well, honestly, like, I feel like that this is obviously the new map, I guess, in the rotation for now. So this is not a map that we've seen BazookaSports play on yet, and this is not one of the maps they lost to Low Panda on. So I hope that I'm expecting that BazookaSports is ready, hopefully with a fresh mind. But we're going into the first mid right now. The match is live, so let's see what these teams are going to pull out. This is the second map of this Week 3 official Season 27 BazookaSports against Lego. The Mole will get the first frag onto Smear. He will go down to Scrap, but the demo of BazookaSports already down. AMS is already going in for the sack. Tom as well. AMS will kill himself, but a combination of Tom and Puskari will get Dr. Phil. Potato actually goes down as well. So actually the frags are going the way of BazookaSports, even though they did lose their demo so early. Domo and Yippee are getting some frags of their own. It's 3v3 right now, but the health is better on the side of BazookaSports, but it's a Smear spawner and AMS that need to arrive soon. Domo goes down. There is Smira. Scrab will get a kill as well, so that mid went on very long, but BazookaSports is victorious.
What you see happening there is, so a lot of the times roamers like to go fast and go for the demo, and it's great if you can get that pick early, but on a lot of maps, if you die for it at the same time, you give up your team's opportunity to have a double soldier bomb, and that's one of the most important things for a lot of mid fights, especially where there's significant height advantage and height disadvantage, like Gullywash or Process. So it would have been great if Demul could have got that pick without dying, but he did end up dying for it, and now we see BazookaSports pushing into last hit.
Here, yep, they're pushing through. The Uber has been popped by Serotonin. The Uber is slightly superior for Dr. Phil, Smear will get trapped by the Uber of Lego, so he will go down. Serotonin unsuccessfully will not be able to make it out. He will go down to Josh. Josh goes down himself, but heals being down for BazookaSports. That's very bad for them, but Puskari gets the frag onto Dr. Phil somehow, so the heals are down for both teams, but Lego still has that player advantage. Serotonin will spawn a little bit earlier. Only will have like 15% advantage.
I think they're aware that he did have a bit of an earlier spawn, so it looks like they are trying to build. I don't know. I would expect them to arrow build here because I think it would create enough of advantage to work off. I mean, I personally would have liked to see some crits, but I think a lot of people are more content and what's the word? They're more comfortable playing with just Medigun. But to put a spanner in the works, we've got Demul playing Sniper because they're expecting full stalemate here, and it does look like it's more or less even Ubers. And he was just watching Big Door, but it looks like he's going to move up to Choke, and I don't think BazookaSports have got an off class.
Let's see, the mole's peeking through Choke. He sees the heal beam, he sees a soldier peeking him. He will not get the headshot on him. He's just going to keep peeking. He sees the sticks from Smira, but he doesn't seem to fear them too much. He looks at him. He seems maybe he'll peek from a less precarious position. He's gonna go to Big Door. He's gonna jump on top of that shutter area. Doesn't see anything there either. So for now, the mole not really getting anything. Ams will jump into his scope. He will get headshot. So he will go down. First pick for Lego. Could be pushing out. They see Smear. The mole has some experience on headshotting Smear in the face, so he could try and get that pick, but no one really peeking too aggressively. Serotonin's in a very awkward position, though. He's on the midpoint. He's going to have to peek through. He goes through. The mole will not get that headshot. Tom will go down to Josh, so more space for the mole. He sees Ams. He's going to try and shoot at Ams. Ams will stay alive. No headshots coming out right now from the mole. Smear will take him out. So it's even players right now. BazookaSports is going to be going on mid. Dr. Phil will get forced very early by a soldier. That would be Ams. So BazookaSports right now in the favorable position on mid. They still have their Uber. They have 6 players. Ams and Puskar are very weak, though. Puskar gets an arrow. Ams will go down. But BazookaSports still have that Uber advantage, and they're going to be pushing into second.
Not quite sure what happened there, because Dr. Phil was on 150 HP when I saw him Ubered. So I think he popped before taking too much damage, and now they're not really going to have much to hold the lobby here. Josh getting in onto Smear gets a good pick, and Demul wins a 1v1 with Tom on top. So all of a sudden, it's not looking good for BazookaSports, but Puskari and someone else, I presume Scrab, managed to get some frags, so they might still be able to use this advantage, but it is dwindling away, and they've got Lego have off classes on last, so it's going to end up back into a stalemate. But I'm really surprised that Lego were able to get some picks and deny that push, because if they didn't, they would have been faced with like a 60% disadvantage while not being set up on last with off classes. So good of Josh and Demul, the two of the standout players for Lego, to get those picks and really halt the push from Bazooka and keep themselves in the game, because I think that was a good chance for Bazooka to get the first round on the board. But that being said, they are content with the stalemate enough to move into lobby. Smear dying to a clever little sticky trap from Domo in lobby, and we see Demul going for a sack. Gets a bit of damage, but it's not quite enough. Yippie's coming in for the follow-up. Ants is so weak, and he does end up dying, but again, there's not too much to work with here. I think the demo pick might be enough for Lego to try something here, but Potato's staying on last with the sentry, so it looks like they're just setting up a forward hold. And I'd be curious to see if we see Amps trying to replicate that nice little chain stab that he had. One of them was like some weird sort of face stab, but no, he is going back onto soldiers, so boring soldier bombs will ensue Hiipfire.
Well, the mole will get the kill on to Tom. Josh will go down to Smear, though, so soldier for a soldier. Lego will be retreating from that. Their forward hold is done, so BazookaSports pushing in. They're trying to see if they can get some openings. Puskar will go down to the shotgun of Potato. Potato on 5 HP. The NG is better than the Scout, it seems. Also, BazookaSports in response to that Puskari death, will be going passive. They will be going outside, and Lego is going to be re-establishing their forward hold.
Puskari was trying something, I think he tried to play for a back cap or just try and pressure the point because he got in through River, but he did end up meeting Potato there and Potato winning the 1v1 against the Scout, which is credit to him. I think he was making NG plays in the last official as Domo dies to a close range headshot from Puskari, or I'm not really sure what the sightline was, and Josh dying in lobby as well as he thought there was more of his team there. Puskari going in main doesn't really get a sightline and does have to back off, but it doesn't look like BazookaSports are doing too much to use this two-player advantage. They get the sentry down and it looks like they're going to come in now, Hiipfire.
Yeah, Ams jumps in onto Dr. Phil. He will get that force. So BazookaSports is trying to retreat right now and then push in with the Uber that they now have, or the Uber advantage that they now have. So they did successfully get out. They have not lost any players. Tom does drop very weak to a little exchange between him and the Mole in top, but neither of them will go down. Puskari is still on Sniper. Ams will spawn now. So sometime soon, we will see the Uber advantage push from BazookaSports. Let's see if they can pull it off. They're assembling right now in lobby. They're going to be moving to River. Scout, Soldier, Soldier. There it is. The Uber is up. It gets popped. They see the sentry. They try to get on it. Potato will go down. The sentry goes down as well. Puskari is trying to get onto the combo, trying to get some frags. Smear will go down to the Mole. Ams will get the Mole. And everyone of Lego is just sitting on the, like, really far away from the point, but they jump onto the point, get all those frags, and now it's just Tom and Ams. Ams will go down. Now just Tom on the ring. He's trying to do what he can, but he will go down to the sticks of Domo. And well, Bazooka completely fluffed that push.
I like the idea of going with soldiers aggressive with an early Uber, but with Uber advantage going from River, you're quite distant from the standard hold position, and it takes a lot of time to close the distance and get onto the medic, and the medic's the primary target when you've got a small Uber advantage or an Uber advantage that, you know, by the end of it would see Dr. Phil with Uber to contest. So going in from River as opposed to going from Shutter or even Balcony or Main, it just slows down their ability to get on Phil, and the consequence of that, as we saw in that failed last push, was Dr. Phil gets his Uber charged and they're able to hold.
Yeah, well, the Uber has been popped by Dr. Phil actually very early in this choke point. They're trying to get onto mid, and Scrab actually gets a pick on the Mole, and BazookaSports is completely backing out of mid. We finally hear that Battalion's backup getting popped. Josh is holding it right now. He will pop it eventually. Ams will go down. So it's a frag for Lego. Tom will get Potato, and Domo seemingly has self-destructed, so he's gone too. So 3 players down for Lego. That banner not really helping out much against that Uber. I think invulnerability is a little bit superior to just a slight little defensive buff. Actually, Josh gets a kill onto Smear and Puskari on the flank. So there goes 2 players of BazookaSports. Lego getting it, at least being able to hold the second point, I think. But there's Ams jumping in, tries to get the big air shot onto Dr. Phil, but he doesn't have to. Tom will finish him off. So Dr. Phil is down. It's just Scrab and Serotonin, though, for BazookaSports. They're going to have to get out. They did get that crucial med pick, though.
It's a really nice play from Lego, and I think they're going to be able to take mid here as they're just spamming out BazookaSports. Scrab with a nice surf onto the midpoint might be able to clean up a frag if he can dodge well enough, but he does die for it. It looks like Lego are going to be capping that. But what Phil must have called and what Lego decided to do when they knew they had a small advantage, maybe 20 or 30%, they had both soldiers up and they had just lost mid, but they decided to hold really close at big door and spam the people that came in close. Lego are walking in now. The battalion's backup does get popped, but Josh dies to the soldier spam in similar fashion to how Smear and Puskari did earlier, but Lego are just walking in and rolling the frags through. Yippee and Domo combining with some good damage to clean up almost everyone. It's just Smear and Scrab left, but they're surely going to die as well, and the only hope is if Smear can get some miracle pipes onto Phil, but it doesn't amount to anything, and Domo will clean him up. With only 3 people spawning in 3 seconds time, it looks like Lego are going to be playing the cap diamond sticking off. They might be able to do this as long as they can get the frags, but Domo didn't sticky the point well enough, and they're just going to have to reset to play that 50% Uber advantage, which, in all fairness, isn't a bad thing to be playing with.
Yeah, well, BazookaSports managing to keep it alive, at least for now. Yeah, getting that frag. Domo going down, so Lego's going to have to wait a little bit before they push in. Am's actually going for the play onto Dr. Phil, but he doesn't even meet Dr. Phil in that entire play sequence going on there. BazookaSports will be building their Uber, trying to get it just before Lego's pushing in, but there they come. Serotonin's on 80%, so he does not have his Uber just yet. Dr. Phil has popped his Uber. They are getting some frags. They get Scrap, they get Buscar, they get the Sentry, they get Smear as well. Toms goes down. Just 2 players left, just Ams and Serotonin. And they can't do anything. Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly the difference that I think. Those 2 last pushes, we can highlight the big difference between these 2 teams. Just the few seconds more thought that goes into it. Where BazookaSports went for River with the advantage and they couldn't get onto the medic. Lego came in really early from the right side, were able to push them out back into the spawn, play the cap time, and Serotonin was only able to drop Uber after getting a saw at the end of the push, and they'd already lost the point.
So the next mid, Lego's up 1-0, so BazookaSports is looking to win this mid. Puskari will get the mole. Potato trying to get out will die as well. Josh perishes. Domo goes down. Tom does die on the side of BazookaSports, but that's the only frag that Lego will get this mid. There you go, BazookaSports get a very quick mid, and Puskar actually chasing, gets the kill on Yippee here. I don't think he's going to get the mid picked up, but it will cap up that second point as well.
That could be a big pick, because Phil didn't have a heal target for that duration. If they were pushing ahead of the cap just now, then they might have been able to get on Phil, but he's surely going to get Uber in time just now, so I'd like to see something a bit more aggressive than just a single soldier bomb. I think this map is a really good map for coordinating sacks. You can go for a scout to play the point, and then as soon as the cap time starts, you can send your soldier in as a sort of distraction. And usually one of the 2 plays makes something happen. But Piscari taking a fight right now in River, trying to back up Tom, but they'll both die after getting a pick on Demul, and it looks like BazookaSports are just going to have to back up out of lobby, especially after Smear dies to a sticky drop. And Legra looking to retake this Hiipfire.
Yep, BazookaSports' Uber will get forced. They get the pick onto Domo. They will force Phil's Uber, but the Uber for BazookaSports is already faded. Serotonin getting out of choke there. They do keep most of their players alive, so they're going to be going back in. Potato is on Sniper. He tried to see if he could get Serotonin, but it's going to go all the way back. He's sitting on the right side here. Just trying to get some pot shots. Ams will be sacking in. He gets a rocket onto Dr. Phil. He gets a second rocket onto Dr. Phil, so Dr. Phil is deado. Ams will go down. Smear will trade with Josh, but there is a heal advantage for BazookaSports. I guess they're just going to be waiting for their Uber advantage. Yeah, they're not going to be pushing off of this.
And again, I think we're going to see ourselves in a situation where it takes BazookaSports long enough to push that, and with the off classes slowing them down on last, that I think Dr. Phil's probably going to get Uber by the end of this, and they'll defend this. That's my expectation. The only thing that's a spanner in the works is we see Puskari in water and he's hiding. I don't think they know he's there, so that he could probably play a back cap if they fail his push. They are moving in through main now, Hiipfire.
Yeah, they're coming in. They have popped the Uber, but they meet the Pyro Potato. He's just reflecting everyone back. He will eventually go down, and Scrab has sacrificed himself to Yippie's Sentry. So BazookaSports pushes mostly cancelled, but there is a scout playing the point. That's Puskari. He gets a lot of time, but he too will perish to the Sentry of Yippie. That's a double kill for that Sentry. BazookaSports, and they are going to be back on the second point. Lego's probably planning on pushing in.
Again, I'm going to question Puskari's decision making, because he was behind the point, and no one knew he was there. No one even seemed like they were checking water, because they just had no idea. And after the push goes badly, he decides to play the cap time and see if it can do anything, but it's just not a good estimation of how that's going to play out. He could have just waited, or called for his team to kill the sentry and fail a last push, and then Lego would have pushed out without checking water, because they had no reason to expect him to be there. And I feel like that's the kind of mistake that costs you significant advantages, and in this case could have cost them a round. And when they're a round down with 13 minutes left, they really need those kind of decisions to be made correctly if they want to get back into this against what seems to be a better Lego side. But that being said, it is even Ubers right now, and they're looking to be quite aggressive in River.
Yeah, the mole goes down. Ams jumps in, but he sees a sentry. He will go down to Yippee Sentry. Yippee Sentry on a 3-kill streak right now. Smear will get Yippee. He gets a second frag into this little aggression push here. He's in a little bit of a situation with Domo there in Shutter, but nothing really will happen of it. Sentry spots someone, but doesn't seem like he's going to get a kill. I see some stuff going on in River. There's a soldier and a scout for the side of BazookaSports trying to get some damage through. There's nothing really that they seem to be able to do, so BazookaSports right now just sitting in lobby.
And it doesn't look like anything could have amounted from that play. As both soldiers from Lego go aggressive into River. Demil dies for it, and Josh might as well. Scrab's peeking him in main and does get the frag. So that's... They get the pick onto Amps, but it's not really much. Piscari's playing the point, wins the 1v1 with Potato as Tom comes in and should get Yippee as well. And they do get forced. It's just Domo and Phil alive, and at very little cost to BazookaSports. In fact, it almost favours them, the timings of their player death, because now they're going to be back into the fight really quickly. So this is a really good opportunity for BazookaSports to capitalise, and I'd like to see them just rush through main and do something quickly, because now the spawners are coming in for Lego, and it relies on them out-coordinating them. Hiipfire.
Yep, well, you say that, but BazookaSports is nowhere to be seen right now. Actually, they do come in now through River. Scrab gets Josh. The sentry gun will finally go down, and Dispenser's dead as well. There's a scout playing the point. Domo will eventually take him out, but the frags are going the way of BazookaSports. A scout will get on that point, and BazookaSports finally tie it up. It's 1-1.
I think the Lego defense was a bit questionable there. They were a bit split up. I don't think they were expecting the push that quickly, and as such, the players that were close to River ended up getting picked early, which is exactly what BazookaSports wanted from that push. So maybe a slight error in judgment from Lego or from Phil the Caller, but I think going into this mid, they should have a good idea of what's been going wrong so far.
Yep, this is the next mid, third mid of the match. Tom tries to make a little bit of a play in the drop down of Lego, but he will get met by, I think that was Josh. Josh going in for his own play. He will get scrabbed. Tom will also go down. Puscari respond with a kill onto Josh, and Ams actually gets Phil. Spirit gets Potato, so no heals for the side of Lego, but it's now just Ams and Serotonin. But Ams comes in from behind. He gets the mole. He gets Yippee. He will eventually go down to Domo, so it's Serotonin and Domo who are alive. Domo, the actual, fragging class. He's going to be capping up mid. Serotonin, no balls on this man. No 1v1 on Domo on mid, but
I think he could have won it. Serotonin's pretty great as far as DMing medics go. And I mean, he didn't have balls there, but it did allow him to keep his Uber, so they should be looking to come in here now.
Yep, the Uber has been popped. Puscari does go down to the sniper Potato, but he will go down to Smear. The mole goes down to Scrap, but all these people are just going down for BazookaSports, like 3 frags in very quick succession, and now it's just Serotonin and Smear. They're gonna have to get out, and what seems to be going pretty okay is now, Lego pushing into second.
And it looks like there wasn't really much they could do there. I think Potato got an entry pick onto Piscari, so as soon as they don't have a scout and they're popping at the choke, it's going to be difficult for them to walk in, as they don't have too much to be aggressive with, and Phil didn't get any sort of pressure, so they do manage to save that Uber for this last push.
Yep, they have some defensive off classes. BazookaSports, they try to build up a sentry. No sentry though, but they do have a heavy. Actually, there's a lot of Lego players on last, and there's a lot of players for BazookaSports just in spawn. Smear, Puscari are down. The mole goes down. Tom goes down, and BazookaSports somehow seem to be pushing his back. They're trying to do what they can, actually, but the players will go down. 3 players go down, and that's it. Yeah, Serotonin, unfortunately, not saving
close. He was on 94% or something like that. If they had played that slightly better, I think they would have had Uber to contest there, but unfortunately he couldn't even get a saw. Well played to Lego to not allow him that and get their second point in this game. I think I'm going to take this mid Hiipfire because I'm quite feeling like it. We do see Smear going for a right side rollout this time. It looks like Bazooka are changing their approach, and they're going to be aggressive. They've got control of the high ground, and they just need to place some spam onto their own side where all the Lego players are. The bombing coming from Josh doesn't really get too much with any of his rockets, and the frags are going the way of BazookaSports. They played it really well to get the frags this early, and Demul and Josh are going to go down as well. The only casualty for BazookaSports being Tom, so they played that really well, almost as a... I would say reactive, but they just took the high ground, they took charge, and they knew what they wanted to do. I think that was a mid with much more direction than we've seen so far. Prior to that, there was a lot of mistimed bombs and that kind of thing. On the last mid, there was a 70 HP Domo on point, and Tom bombs in to shoot another target. So I think maybe miscommunications, but everyone knew what they were doing, and now they're going to be pushing into last.
Yep, push coming in, but they meet Potato on Pyro once again. He will reflect them for a very long time, so most of the Uber is gone for BazookaSports. They will eventually get the kill onto Potato. Serotonin goes down to Domo though, so the heals are gone. BazookaSports trying to do what they can though. Piscari goes down. A bomb coming in from Tom onto Dr. Phil, gets that frag. Yippy's Sentry will get a kill. Ams will get Josh. I think that the health is just too bad for BazookaSports to pull this out. Ams goes back. He's on 20 HP, but Smear is the one that goes down on last, and that's a fluffed push if I ever saw one.
Yeah, it is, and I think that was a pretty good chance for them to make it work. In that situation, I don't think they should have gone for Phil, because they had a sizable enough advantage to go for other frags first. And while there were still maybe 4 players alive on each team, Tom had bombed in for Phil, as opposed to one of the fragging classes that have more impact on a last hold. And at the end, there was only two Lego players left alive, so it could have gone another way if they'd maybe prioritized their targets a bit better. But it was a decent attempt, all things considered, and I think Lego did really well to defend it as well as they did. But just now, I think Serotonin, because he spawned earlier, will have a bit of an advantage. But I think with both teams running a sniper and Yippee also on the engineer, they're both expecting a stalemate just now, and I think Lego aren't too worried about breaking the stalemate, seeing as they are a round up and they have been holding last pretty successfully so far. Where I don't know if Potato's going to make anything happen. He does get Smear, so that is an opening for them.
Smear having no luck with these snipers today, just peeking into the sidelines constantly. That's like his 6th death to his sniper. Demul will go down, Tom will go down, Potato goes down, so it's 2 for 2 right now in picks. Yippee is actually very aggressive with the combo in lobby, so nobody can really just go in for those fights in lobby, but they will eventually back off, so BazookaSports will gain control of lobby. Lego going back to last. I see a sentry from Yippee. He has spotted someone. I don't know what he spotted, but there's some aggressive peeking going on for BazookaSports. There's a scout in river. Smear will get the all-important dispenser kill. He's got that. He's peeking Shutter right now, trying to see if he can maybe get some free damage onto the combo. Nothing he can do though. Serotonin drops very weak. I don't know what caused that, but he's holding very passive right now. But for now, nothing really happening just yet. There's an off class, an aggressive off class from the side of Lego. The former Potato. Yippee Sentry goes down in the meantime as we're looking at Potato in water. He's gonna peek in river. He sees a scout. He will not hit that shot. He's trying to cookery him, but he will go down. Puskar gets the first pick. He gets Josh as well, so 2 picks. M will go down to Domo, but still player advantage for BazookaSports. Tom goes in for the sack onto Dr. Phil. Will force the Uber, so BazookaSports get out. They do keep their Uber alive, so once again BazookaSports is in a too familiar situation. Have the player advantage. Piscari goes down though, but so they do have that Uber advantage.
Yeah, just then Piscari was doing the same thing as the last time where he was hiding in water, but I think Yippee realized or suspected it, so he just walks into water as Pyro holds M1 and burns Piscari to death. That was quite funny to watch, a little smiley face from Piscari in the chat, but there's a full Uber advantage and Bazooka are coming in.
Yeah, here they come. They're coming through main. The Uber is not up for Lego. They see the sentry a little bit late. They do spam it down. There's a bunch of players on the combo. There's a heavy and a soldier there. They need to get on him, but Smear, Serotonin, and Scrab will go down. Yippee going on a 3K right now, and everyone on BazookaSports will go down a full wipe.
And not even a force. Nothing to show for it at all.
What is... I don't know, man.
This is some of the worst last pushing, or perhaps the best last holding I've seen in recent seasons of Prem. Domo being really aggressive onto the spawn. They actually get the pick onto Scrab and Puskari as well. Demul with the follow-up on that damage, and they should be able to cap this mid and deny the spawners. Amps has actually moved on to Spy. He's going for some sort of play in choke, perhaps as they push in Hiipfire. I don't know if he'll have this opportunity. This is a similar way in how he got it last time.
He's looking at a wall. He sees the medic now. He's going to be moving in. He's going to uncloak and choke. He's walking in. Nobody has really seen him. Oh, no. Dr. Phil sees him. He just pops with relatively no pressure on him. No rockets being hit on him, but he will pop. So I guess they forced him somehow. Puskari gets Josh, and the rest of Lego is getting out right now. Ams is on a scout there. He will get the face, the little butter knife hit onto, I think that's Potato. But Demol on mid will go down, and BazookaSports is on mid. They're capping it up, and Ams is still on Spy. He's on second, but I don't think he's really going to be able to do much. I think Lego's giving up second.
He should be able to call for his team, as I think he is. That there's no one on second to defend here. It looks like Ams is going to probably go for a Hail Mary play just to be able to go back onto Soldier. He actually has a chance going into main here. Demul was right behind him, but he didn't know. And he's just playing in sneaky right now, as I think they're content to play this stalemate and rely on the Amps play. Saps the sentry, gets the engineer as well, but he does die first.
I love how he just sapped it in front of Potato. He does get that kill. Sentry is down. Actually, Tom gets the kill onto the sentry, so Ams won't even get the credit for that. Puskari died in another situation. I'm not sure what happened, but he goes down as well. Now, it's even Ubers. It's 1.5 minutes, and BazookaSports needs to make this push work.
I have to make another criticism. 1.5 minutes as a Spy, and you go for the engineer? Of course you're going to trade there, and is that really a pick that's
Whoa, what is this? Demol and Potato on Spy? Oh no, it's just Potato. It's Potato. Never mind. Potato is just in spawn. He's just checking. Alright, well that was almost crazy, but we still have Demol on Spy. Let's see what he's doing. There's actually some peeking coming in. There's actually sack coming in. Scott's playing to point. Puskari's just on point. The sack from Tom will be completely distracting Lego, and they don't even have to push. They just distract, and there you go. 2-2. It's tied up.
It's almost like I suggested that earlier with Scout playing the point as you send the soldier. And hey presto, it works. There is theory behind TF2, ladies and gentlemen. It isn't just shooting people and dying. But Hiipfire, show us what shooting people and dying really is about as we take it into the 5th mid.
Alright, it's 5th mid. BazookaSports is on crits. They're going to try to somehow maybe get a point out of this round. They're going to be playing as aggressive as they can. Yippee goes down. The combo of Legos completely caught. Domo and Dr. Phil both go down. Smear's on the point. They get that midpoint. 30 seconds left. Serotonin is on 70%. The Soldier's trying to sack in onto the medic. They will not get that medic. Everyone's down for the side of Lego. This could maybe happen for BazookaSports if they rush right now. They need to go. They do have 90% on that crits. They're capping it up. The scouts are spawning right now. They're moving in. Here it comes. Smear's going to have to go very big here. 10 seconds. The crit's going to be popped in. Shutter. He's trying to get some sticks. He gets Potato. Someone's playing the point. That's a Soldier. That's Tom on the point. 4 seconds left. They're on the point. There's a Soldier on there. He will not go down, and that's it. It will be a tie. Just barely. Domo is alive. But, wow. Oh, wow. That was so close for BazookaSports.
And it's insane to see 2 maps coming down to the last seconds of it, and in both instances, Lego coming off the better of these 2 teams. It was 3 seconds left when they managed to cap the winning round on Reckoner, and it was, they managed the amount of cap time as the Surfer hit the time limit on Lego's last defense. Just keeps them in that game, despite losing the mid quite badly. A full wipe on the mid, and the crits coming in with Smear, even getting the picks, but for some miraculous reason, I think Domo played really well to contest the point on that last hold. And he's been playing really well defensively this whole game, I'd say. He's been impressing me so much this season. But going into this golden cap, what do you think we'll be seeing, Hiipfire? Because I've seen a bit of both sides. I think as far as the mid fights go, the momentum's with BazookaSports. They won the last 2 mids really convincingly. But the issue is just arises in their last pushes. They just can't seem to make it work. Even then, with the time against them and good entry picks, they didn't do it fast enough. And I feel like the longer this goes on, the more it favors Lego.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is true, but I mean, we've seen so many golden caps go down to just a bad mid, and I'm just expecting that BazookaSports is gonna try to get that full wipe on the first, I guess on the mid fight, try to just get a lot of momentum really early into the golden cap and I mean cap it off. I mean, you could see it right there. They almost did it. They almost rolled them in basically a minute. So that's at least what I'm expecting in this golden cap, but if they mess it up, we could get stuck in a in a little bit of a stalemate, and then Legos is definitely in favor, but I mean, we'll see. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting to see, and I think something that I really like as a difference from last week's match was Lego are running a lot more of Demul on sniper, because I think he's probably. I mean, I'm trying to rack my brain and think who else is up there with him, but he's one of the best snipers in the league right now. Obviously with Stark and Delash and Marosh, but it's a big asset for Lego, and I think I have a feeling that he might be the difference maker in this golden cap if it does end up being a stalemate. But that being said, we have readied up. We are going to the first mid, and I'd be interested to see what they decide to do. Hiipfire.
Alright, let's see. No one's on crits, so no similar strats to the end of the regular time here. Lego's moving up on the side of BazookaSports here. Smear will go down very early to Domo. Seems like some aggressive bombing coming in, though. Ams will not get any kills. Tom gets yippee. Puskari goes down, trying to fight some very weak Lego players. He can maybe clean some up, but he will go down, so Lego will be winning that mid. Both meds are down, though.
And it looks like a smart play from Lego Soldiers. They're actually going somewhat aggressive into second. I thought they were going to be playing the cap time, but Josh is actually in river, meets Puskari, gets one rocket, but not really much to work with, and he might be able to survive here if he... No, there's no chance he lives. There's no chance. Yeah, he does get cut off by the rocket from Amp. So Josh dying, and it is even Ubers otherwise. That's a good enough entry pick on a non-Uber situation. So it looks like Bazooka are trying to make it work. Hams jumps in and gets Phil. So instead of the push, they're going for a sack. But surely after these frags, they're going to be walking in now. Demul going down. It's just JP alive, and that's a full wipe for Lego. Happened in the blink of an eye, Hiipfire. I'm not really sure. There was just one pick on Josh. That one death, that slight overextension allowed for this to happen. So TF2 is really a game of nipple hairs as we see BazookaSports. They're going to be capping the second point with a full Uber advantage. And by the time they're moving into last, they should have enough of an Uber advantage to just do the same thing that they did last time it was successful. And just go for frags and ignore the medic, but they will have off classes to deal with. So let's see how it plays out.
Yep. The Uber, they're moving into river. They're getting the buffs up right now. I think almost everybody's buffed up. Just Ams. I've lost track of where the meta is. He's in river. They've gone out. The sentry has gone down. The Uber has been popped. They're trying to get some frags. They've not yet gone frags. Scribe goes down. Josh goes down. Puskari and Potato also will fall. But now it's the later parts of this mid last fight. What am I saying? But everyone on Lego trying to get onto the point, and they will get completely destroyed by the aggressing BazookaSports players, and that's it. 1-0. The golden cap will go to BazookaSports, managing to salvage this fixture, at least get 2 out of the 6 points.
Lesson learned: if you are not up to par with BazookaSports in terms of DM, don't give them one pick when it's a non-Uber situation, because they will roll over you in their DM, and that's exactly what happened there. Josh died, which under normal circumstances isn't a bad death. It's not like a big mistake, but Bazooka did really well to capitalize on it. Amps with a really nice jump straight in, 2 rockets onto Phil. After the heals go down, everyone bursts through and they get all the frags in a matter of seconds. They can deny all the spawners and just rush through to the last with the advantage, and they made it work just as they did in the successful push that they did before. So credit to Bazooka for getting some points back in this fixture after losing the first map, but I feel like that was a really good game, Hiipfire. I don't know about you.
Yeah, that was a very good game. I actually don't think that Lego was ready for that push in general, because they were playing crits, so I guess they were just trying to build up the crits, waiting for them to, like, they just wanted to push in and catch them off guard, but instead, you know, Ams caught them off guard and I guess countered the crits play and just completely destroyed them. Yeah, but yeah, that was a really exciting game. I mean, both maps were pretty exciting. But this Gully match, jeez, man, that was. I was just nervous the entire match, just like, who's gonna win this? But in the end, the team that I'm biased for at least pulls out the golden cap. Got 2 points. I don't know.
Let's take a look at the numbers, because I think we have those up on the stream right now, and it looks like the damage leaders for today will be Domo and Josh. Domo, I think, was having a standout game, and if you look at his KD, it does show the same thing. The combo players of Lego, Josh picking out the damage, Domo and Yippee both dying very little and getting the cleanup frags. I feel like defensively, Lego were all over BazookaSports this game. They just shut down so many of their pushes, so many of their holds, and I have to credit those guys for that. The stats of the BazookaSports players are a lot more evenly spread out. It looks like almost 1-for-1 KDs for a lot of their players, but I feel like the difference makers are the combo players for Lego. Despite Seroton having less deaths than Phil, I feel like they were a bit outshined by Domo and Yippee.
Yeah, I concur.
Why don't you tell us about these med stats, Hiipfire?
Ooh, these med stats. Let's see what we got on these med stats. Seems like Seroton a little bit less heals, but not actually not really that much less. But let's see these stats. I see Tom though with 7% heals. That's not a lot of heals compared to Dumo who has 16%. And as you can see that Smear and Scrab actually having a lot of heals, and Ams as well. Everyone kind of at least getting the 20% heals in, so the flank on the side of BazookaSports not really getting a lot of heals, but I don't know, I noticed
one of the stats on the logs, Tom picked up like significantly more health packs than anyone else on the server. So I guess that's part of their play, is that they leave their flank to rely on a lot less heals and health packs, and they put quite a lot of health into their combo players. But despite that, despite the resources they were taking up, and as we can see now, the mid fights they were winning, they weren't really able to do much that was better than the Lego combo. It wasn't really a matter of they didn't get much momentum or solidify these pushes and anything of the sort. It really did look like they were struggling against Lego today, and I feel like there's a lot that is to be said here. Is when you look up the individual matchups player to player, it does seem like the stronger players are on BazookaSports, but I don't know if it's just a matter of calling or team synergy, but Lego, with the exception of the golden cap, I had a feeling that Lego kind of outclassed BazookaSports in a lot of the situations in both those maps. I think the rounds that BazookaSports won were a lot more circumstantial. It happened really quickly, or it was down to like specific things that went right for them, like quick frags, that kind of stuff. But Lego did really well to control it, and I think the impression I get is that Lego will play better against the top teams than BazookaSports will. Maybe my opinion's just completely wrong. Maybe we should ask the actual players. What do you think, Hiipfire?
Yeah, we probably should get some fat insight.
So we are joined by Amps, Dr. Phil, and Potato. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Well, firstly, I'm going to take it to Amps, because you've been moved on to Pocket just now, after Tiger couldn't play and you've got Biscari to step in. So it's quite a change considering you've not played Pocket in a while, but it's not that you're unfamiliar with the role. So how do you think that affected the dynamic of the team today?
I don't think we played like at a worse level than we would have with our previous lineup at all. I think we just made like the mistakes that we made were very similar to the mistakes we would make with our lineup we had before. And like I'm pretty rusty on Soldier, but I still think I got some stuff done. And like Bursker is settling in, and like I could make all these excuses all day, but like in the end, like the mistakes that we made were mistakes that we've always been making. So I think in the end it came to that. But yeah, obviously, like I'm gonna be better And now in a while, Puaskari is going to be better as well when he fits in. But yeah.
Yeah, it didn't seem like you and Puaskari were standout individual issues or anything. It did seem like it was more on a team level that mistakes were being made. And from my point of view, it seemed like a lot of the time Lego were just a bit more coordinated and had a bit of a better idea what to do. Phil, as the caller for Lego, was there anything that you were worrying about this game, or anything that you knew to contrast that? Is anything that you thought that would play into your hands? Because to me it seemed like you were a lot more of a coordinated side with a bit more synergy.
First of all, I'm not the caller, that's Josh, but
it's Josh, okay.
He's definitely the main caller, but like we knew we had to play as a team against these guys, so that's what we try to do, and that's what we usually do. That is one of our strengths, normally at least, that we play very well together as a team and we're fairly coordinated.
Yeah, you obviously coming off with 4 points from this fixture and Bazooka only with 2. Was this what you were expecting, or were you expecting maybe closer? Or?
For the gameplay itself, I felt like we threw it a bit, at least at the end when we just let the scout cap.
I feel like there was a lot of situations where it came pretty down to the wire. Obviously, both maps in the last seconds decided some of the fate of it. You guys had a really nice push on Reckoner at the end, and then a really nice hold, but like a close one as well at the end of Gullywash, because Bazooka were really close to winning that there. Amps, do you have any comment on that push where you ran crits and you were playing it against the clock? I think it must have been pretty hectic as a player, but you almost made it work.
When was this? On Reckoner?
No, the end of Gullywash of regular time.
Oh yeah, you mean the cap Puaskari had? Where he just like...
No,
last
round, like
when there was like 50 seconds left on the
and we held it off.
It was
honestly,
so close.
It's kind of a like blur to me right now, but like yeah, I just remember this moment where we just ran Puaskari on point and they were distracted by like a single soldier or something, and we just capped it. Like that's the only thing I remember from like the ending of Gullywash. Like the rest is just a blur in my brain basically.
Fair enough. It was it was quite messy, but on a lot of the holds I noticed, because I watched I casted Lego, your guys' game last week, and you were running a lot more of Potato on Sniper, but this week I think Demul had more of his fair share of sniping Potato. Any reason why you weren't on the Sniper this time?
Because Demul takes the Sniper before I do.
Are you fighting for that in the respawn queue?
First come, first serve, you know? So, my trigger finger on the class switch just isn't fast enough.
You just don't have the reaction times to move those, do you? But you did make some in a similar fashion to last week when you had that NG play. I saw you win a 1v1 with Puaskari. That was quite nice.
That's literally my favorite hold. Just go NG and go forward. I love that so much.
What would you say is your favorite off class?
My favorite off class? Ooh, I like going Pirates a bit, but Josh doesn't let me do that too much. So, you know.
I did it once.
Yeah, and I owned.
Yeah,
we did it in a warm-up as well.
I think you did it at the end of your official last week.
Oh yeah.
That was nice to see. You had to reflect air shot, didn't you?
Exactly.
That was pretty great.
That was the beginning of an era, I'm pretty sure.
Never gonna happen again.
Yeah.
Not in a million years. No, do it in playoffs.
Watch
so you like to run your off classes, and I noticed one other thing that you guys seem to do. I don't know if it's Josh that decides that himself, but you use a lot of banners. And I don't think it worked out today as well as it did last week. Is there any reason why for that, you think, Phil, Potato?
I don't know why it didn't work as well today. Just didn't really play around it when we had it, and Josh died sometimes when he had it. So it's more unfortunate and bad play on our part, if anything.
Yeah, there was also the fact that Josh couldn't actually build it up very easily because the enemy team played very passively and carefully, so he couldn't get any spam at all.
Okay. Amps, were you guys aware quite early on, maybe from stuff that you'd seen or experienced from playing them in the past, that they would be running these banners? Were you adapting to that in particular?
We didn't really put any attention or thought into it. Like, we knew they'd do this kind of banner stuff, but like, I still don't think that was why. Like, I don't think that had like a big effect tonight either. Like, I never really found it an issue. Like, we could run banners too. I don't think it would make like a huge like difference in our game. It's just kind of like one extra tool at the expense of your pocket not being able to jump really. Like, but they would come through choke points with banners and stuff, and we'd still play the same way, and we wouldn't really feel like a huge difference. Like, they take a bit less damage. Like, that's about it. I don't really like. I agree with Josh running it. Like, I think it's good in some situations, but it's not something that we ever felt we needed to counter or anything. Like, never really caused any issues. I don't think so.
So, what do you think were the problems that you need to be addressing if you want to come up with a better result from tonight? I mean, you did get 2 points, but I'd imagine you were going into this expecting to have maybe a bit more points on the league table after this result. Is there anything in particular you think was an issue tonight?
Well, we got plenty of issues, but I think the most obvious one is that, like, while we're pretty good at actively breaking stalemates and gaining advantages, we're very bad at using our advantages and very inconsistent with our last pushes, especially, and just generally playing aggressive. Like Smira said, like after the game, like, yeah, I just think we're not good at playing aggressive at all. Like, we got holds down, we got all this stuff down pretty well, but when it comes to having to do something like with what we have with the advantage or just playing aggressive, it's often very difficult for us for some reason. And we haven't really put as much work in as we should, considering our results recently. So at this point, I don't really think we deserve playoffs or anything like that. We're just going to focus on LAN and consider this season as practice, really, because it's all we can do at this point.
Okay, that makes sense as an approach to take. I feel like playing aggressive does lend itself to the strengths of a lot of the players on your team, and I feel like it's probably the good way to go. Is there any, I guess, frustrations or problems that you have playing the way a lot of teams play now? Obviously, it's very stalemate heavy meta. Is there anything that you're struggling with in terms of breaking that or trying to play more aggressively?
No, the stalemate meta is fine, and we're playing around it, I think, pretty well. Like, whatever team we play, like, we're really the only team actively looking to break the stalemate, and I noticed this happening because, like, we're actively doing it. Like, whenever we have a chance to do it, we coordinate it, we do it, like, together in a pretty good way. And even against good teams, like, really good teams, like Seven, we managed to make, like, not a big percentage of our sacks work, but, like, a lot, like, a decent amount, you know? And it's what we've been working on, like, primarily, and it's what we're going to continue focusing on. But at the same time, just trying to actually, like, be able to do something with the Uber we gain from the sack that worked in the end is something that we also have to work on.
Okay, that makes sense, and I do think Tom is the kind of player that you'll be able to improve a lot with in that regard. I think he's the kind of guy that you want on the flank to be coordinating these kind of pushes. But before I continue rambling on, Hiipfire, do you have any questions for these guys?
Nope.
Okay.
Me too,
well,
thanks.
On that note, I've got things to do. I imagine you guys do as well. So, do we want to take the shoutouts before Hiipfire closes this out for us? Let's start with Amps. Any shoutouts?
My team. Shout out to my team. I still love you guys. We'll win LAN, I promise.
Dr. Phil?
Shout out to Seppu, Ipli, Sami, Crystal, Helberg, Sen, Condom, Ryan, and our manager Amy.
Wow, a big list there.
It is.
Lego Club. Hiipfire, any shoutouts?
Shoutouts to my team, Chumto.net. Shoutouts to Mason and Hiipfire.com.
Hiipfire.com, a great URL. Potato, shoutouts?
Shout out to Ams for having the guts to come to Mumble after an embarrassing performance.
Fuck you, Potato. Shut up.
Family show, boys. Family show. And I will obviously shout out Hiipfire, Gemm for the production, and TFTV for bringing this to us all. You guys for playing. Hiipfire, why don't you close us out here?
I hope you all enjoyed this cast of TFTV. Please check out the site, teamfortress.tv. Check out Twitter. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. We're going to be casting all the other officials for this week. I think most of them are going to be on Thursday. I think. My memory is terrible. I think Thursday is going to be the Nerd Rage 7 and the Unexpected Nunya game. And then Arctic Foxes and Low Penner will be on Sunday. I think that's how it goes. But
If they don't fold.
yes. Oh, yeah, if either of those teams don't fold before Sunday. But anyway, hope you enjoyed, and this has been TFTV Hiipfire. I've been casting, co-caster news, Gemm on production. See you guys.